Hello and welcome to TurnbullsThreads. I'm Kathy and I'm your host. So this is my channel and I talk about the things that I've been crafting. Mostly it's knitting and cross stitch, but occasionally we throw in some other things. This is my monthly update when I talk about all the things that I've done over the last month because I'm not good about doing it more frequently than that. Fun things. I think that's all that I need to tell you about me before we get started on things. So I'm going through things in a fairly regular order. Starting out with, did I have any fully finished items? And yes. Well, oh no. Before I start that, I'm going to briefly be like, yes, I did make what I'm wearing. It is, I believe, the Late Night Sweater by Veronica Lindbergh. I think I show it in one of my previous episodes at one point, but this is what I'm wearing. I knit it out of Bernay yarn that I bought on sale at one point from Michael's. Anyways, so that's what I'm wearing, and now continuing on into what I have made. So, fully finished items. Did I finish some things? Yes, I did. So, my local stitching shop, which is Prairie Rose Needleworks. She has multiple meetups that happen in Ames, Iowa fairly frequently. So if you're ever in the area, please come. It'd be great to have people. Not that we don't have a bunch of people, but it's always nice to meet new people. So usually there's a meetup on Friday for just general crafting, but last Saturday was the meetup called Finishing Friends. So a time to fully finish objects together with people. There were two of us. So I actually got some things fully finished, which I was very proud of because these things have been sitting around for a wee bit. So the things that I fully finished while there, I finished this Mill Hill kit. So it's a wee Santa. Oh my word, we're not going to focus, are we? No. Come on. There we go. There's my wee Santa. So Mill Hill kit. This one has a number of specialty stitches, and so there's satin stitch, a couple of Smyrna crosses, beads obviously, and I finished this as a magnet. So, one fully finished object. But wait, there's more! I have, surprise, surprise, another Mill Hill kit. Oh, we almost had it. Come on. So this is a butterfly. There we go. We're gonna just go in and out on this, aren't we? Butterfly. I fully finished it as it should be as a magnet. So, two. Can you guess what the third one is? It's another Mill Hill kit. I think this is Huey. I finished Huey a little while ago. Huey's an ornament. So he is ornamented and he has his background felt. So Huey's a fully finished. And the final one that's fully finished is not a Mill Hill kit. So I went through and I fully finished my bookmark that I finished last month, I think. Did I finish this last month? It was either early this month or last month, I'm not sure. So I finished all of the stitching and then fully finished it by adding a sticky felt to the back. So now I have a fully functional bookmark. One of two that kit made. So I was very productive for the hour that I was able to be there. One of the people who was there was like, she was trying to procrastinate because she didn't want to do finishing. Like, she brought stuff to finish, and then she doesn't enjoy finishing, so she didn't want to do the finishes. So she's like, you should go home and get all of the things that you've stitched, and I'll tell you how you should finish those. So maybe next time I'll bring all of the things that I've finished, and she can tell me what she thinks I should do to finish off all of my cross-stitch projects. But that is my finishes, my fully finishes. Oh, no. Rephrase. I have one more fully finished item. Almost forgot about it. This! This is important because I literally just finished this. So this is the mosaic knitting pattern that I am doing for my knitting class this month. It's taking place of the old one because the old one said 2025 on it, and it is no longer 2025. So I needed a new pattern, and I wanted to create a pattern that was mine for it. So I have my dishcloth pattern figured out. I need to write up the instructions for it so that it'll be ready to go at the end of the month. But I do have the finished object, and I'm going to be lending it to the knitting store so that they can put it up on their board being like, hey, come take this class and you can make this cool thing. I think I have now gotten through all of my fully finished items. At least as far as I can tell, I think that's all of them. So, fully finished, then you have finishes. Do I have any finishes? No, I do not have any finishes. I have not. Oh, no. I do have a finish. It's going to be like this the entire time. I'll forget something that I did. It's been a month. I do have a finish. I finished the small that I started last month. So this is one of the nature walks. I think it's Early Snowy Morning by Sprouting Lupine, and it's on Grace Notes Fabrics in Balsam Fur. And look at it, it's so cute. And I think I have a nice big chunk of fabric. There's a number of other nature walks. And yes, not all of them necessarily would go on this, but a good number would. I think I will be creating kind of a collage here of nature walks, just to make it fun. Big number. So if you happen to see me, follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that this one was finished. So yes, I have another finish. It's not fully finished though, because I think I am going, I know I have the night one with the owl on it, and I have the 3 songbirds. I also have a couple of other nature walks, so I think I'll put the owl and the 3 birds along the top, and then I have a chipmunk. I know I have the chipmunk one. The chipmunk one will probably go below my cardinals. And in case you're wondering, yes, there are mistakes in this one. And for those who like the back, that's what my back looks like on this one. But if you are to stitch it and you actually follow the pattern, your bird will not be quite as fat as my bird. And I think the branch will not. I had to compensate for the fat bird with the branch somewhere in there. So somewhere in here, this branch is off and the bird is fat. But I think everything else is actually stitched like it should be. So that is one of the nature walks by Sprouting Lupine. I do admit, I do like her designs. They're really good and they're really fun. This was a fun, fast stitch to do this month. So there we go. I have fully finished objects. I have finished objects. Quick insert, haven't finished editing, so I can show you the other finish that I forgot to show earlier. Yay! So I did finish Mill Hill Kit, a button and beads. This is Broom Parking, a Mill Hill Kit, button and beads, and it's done! This one was a fun stitch. I've been working on it for a little while. Full coverage, beads. I did make some errors technically in the border because of the, where was it? This broom right here on the side technically should pop out of the frame as... Did anything else pop out of the frame? Oh yeah. And then the bow on this broom on this side is technically supposed to be like one of those perspective things where you have the frame around it and then it kind of like comes on top of the frame. So technically, like this part up here. Yeah. Are we going to focus again on... There we go. So this part up here, maybe. Yeah. Should technically have the broom outside and this bow over here did not, but when I stitched the border, I didn't pay attention because the border is very repetitive and I did all of the repeats and I messed up the places where these should have been. So it doesn't pop, but that's okay. So I finished, so I had a couple more finishes than I expected to have this month. So, finish it February actually turned out pretty well for me. Now, I'm gonna try and insert this into the finish section. If not, it's at the end. If it managed to make it in there, well, enjoy the rest of the episode. And be back shortly. Now that we've finished both the fully finished and the finished, let's get into the works in progress because I have a couple of those too. So, works in progress, or whips. Let's start with the one that I'm so happy about. So, I have finally reached the fourth side of fish and chips. So we've got the bottom, we've got the left, we've got the top, and we've hit the right. So look at it. Isn't it lovely? Based off of this, I think I will finish this year. I'm stitching it, it's white, yes. So this is a piece of fabric from Banana Oil. I love it. It is gorgeous. And I love how the monochromatic stitching shows up on it. This is Fish and Chips by Long Dog Samplers, and I'm doing it in white with kind of accents of DMC Diamante. So you get a little bit of sparkle on some areas, like here in the lighthouse. There's a moon and the stars somewhere, and then motifs that aren't super ship based. So there's a couple of like butterflies and bees floating around in the project, and those are stitched with Diamante. So there's a teeny tiny itsy bitsy little bit of sparkle. But yeah, so I've hit the right side and I don't know, I might be able to move my hoop again this next stitching session, if I'm there the entire time. But I think I will be able to this time. I think I will disappear from work in a more timely manner and get things done. So, yeah, this one is getting so close. so happy with it. So that's my fish and chips. Let's go on to the next. What do I have next? Ooh, a teeny tiny itsy bitsy start. So I'm doing Winter Songbird by Nathnolu, and I just have the teeniest, tiniest little start on it. How am I stitching? I think I'm stitching it this way. So, yeah, all I have. That right there. So this is, I think it's an 18 count. I have no idea what the actual color is, and I don't think I brought it with me. Oh well. And I can't show you the pattern because the one that I have is a PDF, and the thing that I printed out has the actual pattern on it. So I will not show that here, but Winter Songbird by Nathnolu. I'll go ahead and tag her in, or put her link in my description. She has some really good patterns. She has a raven knitting, an owl quilting, a badger doing cross stitch, I want to say. I don't know. She has a number of animals doing like crafty things that are so cute, and I am totally going to stitch all of them. And then she has a bunch of other patterns that were kind of cute, that are cute as well. So I'm going to be working on this one. Yay! So that was last video I mentioned that I really didn't have any plans. It's kind of a free-for-all and however I want to do it. It's still that way. I have vague inklings of things that I would like to do. Some of it is basically I want to start things because I have the stuff. I have patterns. I have fabric. Let's go ahead and get some of these things started. As well as working on finishing some things because we also need to do that. We can't just start all the things. We also have to finish some things. So I did finish some things. In fact, I fully finished some things. But I have a lot of patterns and I have a lot of kits, so I wanted to pull some to start. So I pulled 12 large, 12 smalls, 12 PDF patterns because I have definitely been neglecting those. Like, I have a lot of physicals, but I also have some digital stuff, and I haven't been pulling the digital stuff in part because I haven't printed all of it, so I do need to go ahead and see about going through and printing more of the things that I have. That way I know that I have it, because I like physical copies of my patterns to stitch from. I'm not a huge tablet or digital stitcher. It's just my personal preference. So because of that, if it's a PDF, I forget that I have it. So I need to print it so that I remember that I have it so that I can actually stitch the thing. So I have a PDF. I pulled 12 PDF patterns to start and get ready working on, and then 12 kits. And then I have some other stuff that I've pulled that I want to like work on and start, but those are if I can, if it happens to work out, I'll do those. The other ones I'd really like to get done, so that's like 4 new starts a month. So many! I'm going to add so much to my whip file. It's okay. But it'd also be nice to get some of the things done like that. The nature walk was a start and finish for this. It was a start last month and it was a finish this month. So I think some of the smalls I can probably get through. Some of the larger pieces in the kits, maybe not as much. But we'll see. I need to work on some things. So that is that. The next one, oh, I should do this one. The other one that I started, did I bring the pattern? I don't know if I brought the pattern. By the same artist, Nathnolu, I have So he's a really cute bat. I don't remember the name of it. I will see about putting that in my notes. So hers was stitched on a dark fabric and I'm stitching mine on a light fabric. This is probably a 14 count. It's an offcut that I got from my cross stitch shop. So I don't actually know what it is. Yay! The next thing that I have is a kit. This has been a whip for years at this point. I don't remember when I got it. It's been a while. So the kit is Don't Rush Me, and it's a pattern by Joan Elliot. And for the longest time, the only stuff that I had finished was part of this table and part of that like blue border that goes around the whole thing, and that was it. And then this month, I got busy on it, and we made a lot of progress. So this is now what it looks like. I have pants. I have most of a table. I have a sweater started. I have some hair started. I have boards. I have the pieces of paper started. So I think with a little bit of work, we could probably finish this thing not in February, but in March. I think I might be able to finish this one in March. And considering this total saying on it was don't rush me, I'm making mistakes as fast as I can. This feels very, very apropos for work. Like, I want to finish it so that I can fully finish it so that I can take it to work. Because it should live there. It should really live there. So that's Don't Rush Me. It's something that I've been working on lately because this whole last week has felt like that. Don't rush me. I'm making mistakes as fast as I can. It's not necessarily a good thing to be feeling, but so that is that one. My next project is a knitting project. It's a lace knitting project, and it is the Love Letter tank by Veronica Lindbergh. And I have finished through motif C, and I am now on D. So knitting this, I got basically all the way through C, and then I ran out of yarn. So I reached out on Facebook in the Darn Good Yarn one because the particular yarn that I'm using for this is one of their monthly boxes, and I had 3 balls of it, and I was going to need a 4th ball because with the 4th ball I should be able to get through the bottom of this motif. I don't think I'll have enough to do the hem and the ribbing or the I-cord edging for the neck and the sleeves, but with the 4th ball I can get through the like main motif or through the main body of the tank top, and then I'm thinking doing a contrast color for the bottom of the hem and I-cords on this because I think a like dark blue would be a really good pop on this. So yes, I got very, very far and I ran out of yarn, and so I asked on the group if anyone had one, and there was a very, very generous person on the group, and because I haven't asked her permission to say anything about who it was, I'm not gonna put her name out there, but she very generously sent me another ball of yarn for free. Thank you so much for that, because I joined it in and I've started on to that 4th one, so I should be finished with at least knitting with this color, and then I have to figure out what I can use, like what I have that will work for the I-cords for around the neck and the armholes and the hem. But I'm getting pretty far on this. This has actually been a really, really fun knit. I like lace, and with this one, like the lace pattern, you switch it so often you're never really bored, right? Because like you do the top lace and then you switch and you do a different lace pattern, and then you switch and you do a different lace pattern, and then you switch and you do a different lace pattern. And sometimes you do like bring things back. So like this section down here is very reminiscent of certain areas of this section up here. But it's fun lace. I like lace. So that's my Love Lace tank or top. I think it's Love Lace Top by Veronica Lindbergh. And I'm knitting it in Darn Goods Yarn of the Month, Grecian Odyssey. So that is that project. Let's go up the next one. So, my small for the month is this guy. Let me pull it out so that you can see the picture. I have started this Festive Fawns by Lindy Stitches. It's really cute. I'm not doing it on the called for fabric. Because I rarely do things on the called for fabrics. I'm doing it on raw silver. It's a 32 count Belfast linen that I got from Fat Quarter Shop, and I have a very teeny tiny itsy bitsy start up here. So I have the start of the antlers, and that's it. So it'll be on here. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I don't know how I'm gonna finish it. Those are all future decisions that future me will have to deal with. It may join the other projects that I'll take to the store and go, Janet, how do you think I should finish this? And she'll tell me how she thinks I should finish it. And we'll see if I actually do it or not. So that's that project. The next project that I have is actually a piece from a book. So that was one of the things that I do want to do some of the things that I've like marked as things I would like to start. And this one was a fairly easy start for me to do. It was I have 1, 2, 3 tabs on this. I don't know if I went through this book in a previous episode or not, but I went through and marked the ones that I wanted to do. And I have a Lazy Tribute is the one that I started. So it's a little quote there. It says, "The trouble with doing nothing is that you never know when you're finished." So I am not doing it on any of the called for, nor using any of the called for. So I'm doing it on a 14 count Aida in the color Mire by Picture This Plus. So that's what it looks like. Isn't that a cool color? It's awesome. So this is a 16th of a yard, so it should be big enough for this. And I'm using, instead of their called for colors, I'm using Cosmos and these 4 colors. So there's a like purpley brown color, a purpley red color, a more red maroony color, and then a dark green. And these are all Cosmo floss. This is my first time working with Cosmo. I wanted to see what it felt like. Yeah, it's nice. There's actually a quilt shop that's in Ankeny that sells Cosmo. So I do have a place where I can go get more of it if I want to. Which I might eventually. We'll see. Oh, I didn't actually work on that. Or did I? I don't think I did. That was my, if I get a chance, I'll work on it. Ooh, I think my battery's going to die. We'll see how long it goes for. The next one that I have is a kit, and it is Russia, like Baikal by Panna. So, really cool. And I have a very small start on it. There. And my start on it. So that was my start in my hoop. It's a really nice kit. Like, it comes with serged edge on your fabric already. I think they might be kind of cutting you close on your fabric, so I think if you don't have a center start, it might be a bad thing. But yeah, like, serged edges on your fabric already. The floss is nicely sorted into cards already. Lots of them. Lots and lots of floss. And the pattern is really nice. It's actually done, they did 2 printings of the pattern. So you have one printing where the cross, because you do backstitch on this piece. Let me put things away, and then actually even the like kit itself, like it has snaps on it. So snaps instead of tearing it open to pull it apart. But there's definitely backstitch that you can see in here. And so they have 2 copies of the pattern. One copy that has like the cross stitch symbols, where those are kind of prominent and not faded, and then like the back stitches kind of faded out on it, and then they have the reverse. So then they have the pattern printed, and instead of the back stitches highlighted and the cross stitch symbols are faded out, so that you can really see. So you can see where your back stitch is and where your cross stitch is, and you're not having that problem that you have sometimes with other kits. DMC, not DMC, sorry, Dimensions. Love Dimensions kits, but I think my battery is about to die. We'll see. But yeah, it definitely has areas where you have problems figuring out where your back stitches and where your cross stitches are supposed to be, or what symbol is underneath the back stitch that is on top of all of your cross stitch symbols. You're like, well, there's dots in this area, and since I cannot literally see any symbol in this particular square, and it's surrounded by squares that have a dot in the center, but there's a back stitch line that goes directly through that, I'm gonna guess this is probably supposed to be the color of floss that is where the dots are, because that makes the most sense. But I could be wrong. We'll find out. We'll stitch it and see what happens. So yes, that's not a problem with this kit, because they gave you 2 sets of instructions. One that's got the back stitching and one that's got the cross stitching. Yes, they're both technically present on it, but one where you can really tell where the cross stitches are and one where you can really tell where the back stitches are. And so putting them together will be nicer. It'll be fun. I'm actually looking forward to that one. And then the last thing that I have as a whip is I started Night Portal. It is a Heaven and Earth design, and this is artwork by Yasu Art Studio. It's a really cool picture. I like it. as someone who loves fantasy, it's so cool. So you have a little lady knight on top and a portal to the girl on the other end. Like a girl in a cottage. So I started it like most of the things that I've started. I have an itty bitty teeny tiny start. And this is on a blanket of fabric. I need to actually figure out exactly how much I need. But I think it's gonna need actually a good chunk of this. So this is a 20 count EasyGrid that I will be stitching this on. Okay, where I had just finished talking about Night Portal, which I barely started. I'm doing it on a 20 count even weave because I like 20 count even weave for my full coverage projects. It's currently my preferred, but I have a couple of projects that I don't think will fit on a 20 count weave. Sadness. So I think for those that are gonna have to go up to at least a 25, and I think I have one giant project. We'll see if I ever start it. That might actually have to go in a smaller count. We'll see. We shall see. So I have one more whip to show you. And it is my cloud sweater by Veronica Lindbergh. And this is, I've gotten some progress since the last time you've seen it. And I'm finding things out about the yarn that I don't like. So this is a yarn from Yarn Bee from Hobby Lobby. And so it does this gradient change. And the proper gradient change is from where my thumb is to where my thumb is up here, right? So it should go from the dark to the light, to the blue, back to the light, to the dark, and then the dark should transition into the light, right? You can see nice transitions. You should get stripes, but it should be transitional stripes. There are at least 2 times in this particular ball of yarn where it must have snapped and then they just tied a knot in it and continued on. Because that's why we have this harsh transition here from blue to brown. And why I have that harsh transition here from my dark brown to my light brown. And now I'm starting to get another dark, because if you look at my yarn, which is in this tangle here, this is the color that I'm starting to pull from. So I had the start of a dark, and then I had to jump back into the light, and I'm gonna go back into the dark. It's not annoying enough for me to start it and actually go about fixing it. No. I'm not that crazy for making this perfect. But am I slightly annoyed? Yes. Would I be more annoyed if I'd paid full price? Oh, yes I would. But these were all sale balls of yarn. So I think I paid at max maybe $3 a yarn cake. And so like this is just one ball of yarn that I've used to knit so far. So this is a bottom up sweater. And I haven't looked at the pattern recently. I think it says that I'm supposed to knit 11 inches, and then I don't know if I'm starting the sleeves or not. So I think this is 11 inches, but this is definitely not at a length that I'm happy with, because like this particular sweater is actually a crop top, and even at a crop top, like it's hitting me where my jeans are. So I don't know if that's technically a crop top, but it's shorter than I like. I like my stuff to generally cover my butt or be halfway down there. Yeah, personal preference. Some people like to crop all of their sweaters. I generally add length to all of my sweaters and tops. I like it covered back there. So, these 11 inches. If that's where the armhole starts, it's not long enough. I definitely need some more space underneath that arm. So, and I have enough yarn. I have 2 more balls of this yarn. So, I mean, I still have this nonsense left of my original ball of yarn. And then I have 2 other balls left. So I should have more than enough yarn to get through the entire sweater, even if I decide to add like 3 to 4 more inches of length. But I should probably actually look at the pattern before I make any decisions about anything, because that would be the smart thing to do in your life. So that might happen in the future. Maybe. So that was all of my whips. I have gone through all of my whips. I found them all. Yay. Go me. So now that whips are done, let's talk a little bit about maybe who I've watched, and then we'll do plans. And I already talked about the kindness that happened this week. Thank you so much for that ball of yarn. Made my day and will help make my top. So who I've been watching. So I've finally restarted watching FlossTube and YouTube in general, because for a while there I kind of dropped off. And I just really wasn't able to keep up with things. So, I did recently finish going through the backlog of Cross Stitch the Globes thing, or backlog of her episodes, and really good. Stephanie is great to watch. Let's see, is there anything that I would see? So she recently finished the 100 most expensive patterns list, and I was very fortunate and very happy to manage to snag a copy of The Lady of the Flag when they did that reprint, because I do want to do that one. That is one that I would like to start during Mire May. I like to have a project for every day of May. So either I'm working on something that's already started or starting something new. I don't know that I've finished any Mires, because I have a couple of small things. So I consider patterns from Patreon in the Mirabilia category rather than the Nora Corbett category, because the Nora Corbett category is already really big. So Nora November, it has 1 day less than Mire May. So it's already shortchanged a day, and it's also got like 3 times the patterns that the Mirabilias do. So let's not like shove more things in there. So any of the freebies and any of the Patreon patterns I've been putting in Mirabilias instead of Nora Corbett for purposes of those 2 months. And during those 2 months I try and stitch on all of the ones that I have, and I would like to have one for every day, which I think currently I do. I might have more than one for every day. But if I manage to finish anything, I don't think I finished any of the Miras. I'm also not sure exactly how many I have either, so there's that. But if I have any slots open, I would like to start Lady of the Flag. And I want to do... So there's a number of conversions that I've seen. They've seen the blue one, I've seen the white one, and I've seen the green one. And I personally would like to do kind of a combination, I guess. So, like, the Statue of Liberty was originally a copper. Like, it is a copper statue. So it was originally like that burnished copper color, right? But oxidation has happened, and now it is green, which is really cool. And I want to pay homage to both, right? So Lady of the Flag is more of like that copper color, but I don't want to do the entire thing in that. So I probably need to look and see what the green one is, because I think the green conversion is pretty close to the actual current copper color that it is. And then I'd like to like have the bottom be the green and then have it kind of creep up in a variety, like, so probably dividing the pattern into thirds, essentially. So like the bottom third would be totally the green pattern, the top third would be totally the actual charted pattern, and then that middle third is like a transition zone, right? So like having streaks, because if you see metal like during the process of oxidation, generally, yes, the whole thing is, but you can see it a little bit more typically in certain areas of whatever the metal is, like especially if it's like a statue. So you can see it better in certain areas of the statue than others. So I kind of, although technically, yes, it wouldn't be creeping up, like the whole thing would happen, but you'd have certain areas that would tend to be still retain a little bit of the copper as it works through that oxidation process. So I want to see if I can find some pictures of things and like where those points, like, is it the crevices, or is it the, what is the opposite of crevice? The bumpy parts. I don't know what it is. But like which of those tends to like retain a little bit more of that coppery color than the other, and then work that into my middle combo section. So that's a plan for some time in the future. But speaking of that, that was so Lady of the Flag was on that most expensive patterns list. If you are interested in seeing what patterns were the most expensive for last year, check out her video. It's entertaining. And I think she's coming out with the most expensive patterns sometime this week, maybe? Not patterns, kits. I think it's kits that's coming up this week. So you'll get a chance to see probably some Thomas Kincaid kits. In all likelihood, those will probably make the list. So watched her cut up. It was really nice to catch up with that. I finally caught up with the Thread Gremlins and Hathaway Stitchers, which, considering that the Hathaway Stitchers haven't posted in 6 months, and the Thread Gremlins just had their last thing was like essentially a Christmas special, tells you how far behind I've been in watching Floss. Both are really good. Highly recommend both of them. Yeah, Amity from Hathaway Stitchers does have a new pattern coming out at the Nashville Needle Market, which she did in one of the 2 episodes that I watched, because I was 2 episodes behind So I was closer to 9 months to a year behind in watching them than 6 months. But, because in one of her episodes she mentioned that she had a pattern that was had been released. She released a lot of patterns. But I saw the most recent one with the thread pack. And it looks fun. And it's bright. Like, there's a really, really bright orange fish on there. The thread pack for that. I think it's Under the Seas, maybe? I don't remember exactly the name of it, but there's a really bright orangey red color that looks so much fun. Like, so much fun to stitch with. So, yeah, neither of them are posting anything super soon, I don't think. And then Thread Gremlins. It's been a while since I watched the last episode. I tend to like binge watch people, especially if I haven't been keeping up. So I binge watched them, and I don't remember exactly what all they were stitching. They had a lot of stitching though. And they're always fun to watch, so highly recommend them go. And see, the next Jessie Marie Does Stuff did put out a video pretty recently. She's one that I did catch up on. She's doing something Manor. And doing a bunch of full coverage stitching. So I should be doing some full coverage stitching. And we're not even trying the Whipco this year because we know how well that went last year. I mean, I haven't even really managed to get my list together that I need to get together so that I have a list of things that I want to do to try. Because I want to dye some more fabric. I would like to dye some threads. Try different types of needlework. So Hardinger would be fun. Some different crafts. Tatting. Tatting would be interesting to learn how to do. I should probably learn how to crochet at some point. We'll see. So Jessie Marie Does Stuff. I typically keep caught up with Charlie Nebby and the Stitchery. So not cross stitch, but general crafting channels, and she's given me some ideas for some things that I would like to do at some point. All you creative people giving me more things to do. Yay. And then Nora Knits, aka Nora Knits. She's a knitting channel suggestion if you happen to enjoy knitting channels. She does a really good job with a bunch of different types of projects. She does a bunch of thrifting of yarn, and then she'll break down her projects by price. She is way more organized than I am because she actually generally knows how much she paid for yarn and the patterns and how much she paid for the patterns. And I'm lucky if I remember the name of the yarn and the name of the pattern, because I don't keep track of that. I do this for personal enjoyment, and I have to be very detail oriented and write things down and keep track of all kinds of things at work. So I'm not going to do it when I am at home, and I don't have to. Yay! Yeah. It's a good thing you don't see all the rest of the room here, because it is a slight... There are things all over the place. And it only gets cleaned up generally when I know that I'm having company. Like any good crafter, right? Then we shove it all in the closet so that nobody else can see it. So those are the things that I've been watching and some suggestions. In terms of plans, I do have a stack of things that I want to start. I think I have another book that I'd like to start a pattern out of. I do have a heart anger kit that I would really love to start, and I have a number of other things that I need a door stop. My bedroom door just automatically closes, essentially. It's too heavy. It closes by itself. And generally that's not a problem, but often when I am home I would like it to stay open. So I got the Groovy Chicks. I think that's what it is. Groovy Chicks by Satsuma Street. I got that pattern and I have 11 count Aida, and I'm going to start that and see about stitching that and using that as a doorstop. My battery is going to die again, so let's hurry up and finish this. Other plans. I do have a small start. I have a large project start. And I have a PDF pattern. The PDF pattern is from the Steady Thread. It'll be a blackwork project, so I will have another blackwork project, which will make me very happy. I already talked about my thanks, so I think I'm done. So enjoy your day, enjoy your week, enjoy your weekend. Have a good month, because that's probably when I'll see you again. Look forward to seeing you, hopefully. Well, we'll see if I manage to get anything out in 2 weeks, but if not, should definitely see you again in a month. So in the meantime, enjoy and bye!